When people are considering relocating down here to South Florida, the first city they normally think about is Miami. In particular, they think about Miami Beach with all those wild, crazy nights, beautiful beaches in general, celebrities, exotic cars, fancy restaurants. And that's the first thing that comes in mind. They think that all of South Florida is practically Miami. And being honest, even myself, I was born and raised in Florida. I didn't know much about Boca Raton, Florida, until I started traveling all throughout the state. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I wanted to find a place where I could actually live, not just visit, but live down here in South Florida. And I think I found the best city. Today, I'm going to be showing you why more families, more professionals, and even snowbirds are considering moving to Boca Raton, purchasing their next home here in Boca rather than Miami. Because let's get one thing straight. Miami is a great place to visit and to tour as a visitor, but to live, Boca is #1 in South Florida. And starting with #1, it has to be the weather plus the vibe. So Boca shares the same tropical weather that you would get if you moved to Miami, Florida. I'm talking about the beautiful palm trees behind me. I'm talking about beautiful coconut trees, mango trees, all the tropical stuff you desire. You're getting year-round weather right around 80 degrees, just like Miami. But in Boca, things are a little bit calmer. And what I mean by calmer, if you look around me, there's actually green space. There's grass below my feet. There's things that are more spread out. And you don't have this heat bucket, this big city urban environment that keeps everything way, way hotter. I have friends that come up from even Coral Gables, downtown Miami. When they come to Boca and Palm Beach County, they realize things get a lot cooler. And not just talking about cooler, things are calmer in general. So what I mean by this is that we have this beautiful weather, but if you wanted to ride your bike randomly around South Beach, it's going to be very chaotic, very stressful. For myself, I don't like stress and chaos. I think the environment and the energy that your surrounding area gives you is going to help, excel you in your business, your family endeavors, whatever you want. Your environment is going to reflect how you perceive the world. So in Boca Raton, it's not uncommon at all to see tons and tons of bikers going all down A1A. There's actually a Boca Run Club that's actually started up here recently that's gotten tons of traction. People down here in Boca Raton love being outside in the weather and enjoying the beautiful tropical environment, and not just looking at tall skyscrapers and apartment buildings everywhere. And here we love being outdoors. There's a lot of restaurants, especially the ones behind me. They actually allow you to eat outside. So if you bring a pet, Boca's really pet friendly, by the way, but we enjoy being outside here in Boca Raton. In some places in Miami, you just don't want to be outside because it's always hot. The concrete everywhere gives off this heat. It's just not the most pleasant place to be. But here we have a lot of local favorite restaurants. Right up the street here is The Seed, a very popular coffee shop here in Boca Raton. But it's not uncommon out here on the Greens area right here and right across A1A right in the morning. It's very common for morning Pilates classes. So if you're a Boca mom, it's a very popular title down here in South Florida. A lot of Boca moms are into Porsches and Pilates. So you would probably go to A1A, do your morning Pilates, and then drop your kid off at Spanish River in your Porsche Cheyenne. That's probably what you'll be doing here in Boca Raton, because that is part of the lifestyle. We'll get to that later. And to be honest, it is beautiful down here. And to summarize the weather and vibe, it's a healthy vibe. People care about their health. Again, a lot of the mom and pop family-owned restaurants have a lot of healthy options here, and it's laid back, and this is the perfect place where people will come to have a family, to settle down once they live these wild Miami nights. And just a little side note, health and wellness here definitely matters. People here care a little bit, sometimes too much, about their health. There's tons of Pilates classes. Every time you have a coffee shop here, there's usually a Pilates class next to it, or a yoga studio. They have a boxing studio right down the street here as well. and you're probably going to find a lot more yoga mats than club stamps here in Boca Raton, Florida. Number two thing you have to know about moving down here to Boca Raton Number two thing you have to know about moving down here at Boca Raton is that we have the beautiful beaches without all the crazy crowds. So we all know Miami beaches, especially South Beach, is famous, but it's also famous for being overly crowded and having tons of tourists. This is not what Boca Raton is about. And arguably, we probably have some of the best and most beautiful beaches down here in the South Florida. And here's some things that if you visit Miami and you're coming here up here to Boca Raton, you're probably going to notice real quick. Here at our beaches, you can park, and if you're a resident here in Boca Raton, you get a parking pass that's year round. People who tour here and come visit, they're gonna have to pay up to like $55 a day to park at our beaches. So it kind of hinders and prevents a lot of tourists from coming here and trying to take over our city beaches. Number two thing you need to know about our beaches is that you can actually hear the ocean. You don't have all these people blasting their music with speakers everywhere. It's a very more excluded, private, exclusive type of environment than is in Miami, Florida, because this is one thing I like to do at the beach. When I go to the beach, I want to relax, and Boca Raton beaches do not disappoint. You can definitely relax at the beach. There's nobody really blazing their music, and there's a different hip-hop station every other blanket over. So getting back to this, I actually had some clients come up from Coral Gables. They used to always go to the South Beach area, and that's the only place they live. They actually moved from Canada down here to South Florida, and they end up in Miami because, you know, let's be honest, Miami is the most popular city down here in South Florida. And they told me once they actually came here at Boca Raton, it was the first time they allowed their kid to actually play in the sand and build a real sandcastle. So down there in South Beach, they're always worried about their kids getting on like cigarette butts or things in the sand and whatnot. But they were quite happy with the sand here in Boca Raton. If you want to gauge sand, I'm pretty sure there's a sand expert out here. The Boca beaches, because we don't attract all the tourists and people to trash in our beaches tend to be quite beautiful and quite clean. And these clients actually moved up here, and they go to the beach every single weekend since they moved up here last year. So that story just really stuck with me because you don't even think about like beautiful sands, and when you live here in Boca, you just kind of get used to everything being clean, neat, and organized. Now, number three thing here in Boca Raton that you have to know about when you're considering moving here versus Miami is that when it comes to family style living, Boca hands down beats Miami. So unlike Miami, where, you know, space is like this extreme luxury that unless you're an ultra rich, wealthy billionaire, it's very hard to get in Miami. There's a lot more affordable options down here in Boca Raton. If you're looking for $700,000, $900,000, say $1.5 million, it gets you a backyard, it gets you a private pool, and it gives you some sense of privacy that you may be outpriced in a lot of the Miami markets down there further south in Miami. And some things that really draw in families here to Boca Raton are the planned communities. The Lotus developments have made tons and tons of neighborhoods and homes for people moving down here to Boca Raton. And these communities are actually very nicely done. They're clubhouse focused. So if you're moving down here, you don't know anybody, the clubhouse is a great way for you to get to know your, you know, the people moving down here. Pretty much everybody moving into the Lotus developments tend to be outside from Florida. So it's really easy to network. It's like going to a new school, if you want to think of it that way. When you're starting off fresh, your freshman year, everybody's new and willing and wanting to meet new people. And when you get to meet these people, you're going to notice a lot of people who live here in Boca Raton are going to be a lot of the doctors, lawyers, and other young professionals. When they come to move to South Florida, they usually end up moving to Boca Raton because of the A-rated schools throughout the entire city. Now, for the different styles of housing, we got tons of options here as well. So if you're the ultra wealthy, the two probably most popular places you'll be located would be the Royal Palm Yacht Club. And this is a very beautiful neighborhood that's not really gated, but has security that, you know, goes throughout it. A very well-established neighborhood, and it probably has the most, you know, bang in your face. Now, if you tell somebody you're from the Royal Palm Yacht Country Club here in Boca Raton, they automatically assume you're like a rich, wealthy billionaire. This is like the billionaires row here in Boca Raton. It automatically assumes like you're coming from something, you have a business, it carries some weight here in Boca. Another neighborhood that's been really gobbled up. So people who tend to move into this next neighborhood called Sanctuary are really into AI, computer tech. A lot of those type people have been recently buying into Sanctuary. The thing about Sanctuary, it's a really nice neighborhood as well. It doesn't have the same weight as the one we just mentioned, but it has a lot of privacy. So it has a security guard up front, it's gated, it has rolling security in the actual neighborhood itself, and it's the only neighborhood down here in Boca Raton that offers security on the intercoastal side. So it has rolling patrol on boats to making sure all the residents are safe in their backyard. So if you're somebody who wants extra security, extra safety for your family and whatever, your kids, when you move down here, Sanctuary would probably be your best bet for security. Now, for upper middle class living down here in Boca Raton, there's a few great options. The three that really stand out is Mill Pond. This neighborhood is tree lined. It's absolutely beautiful. Tons of kids running around there. The kids there will go to the public schools, but there are also great private schools like the Pinecrest one right there next to the neighborhood. There is the Lotus developments, Lotus Palm, Lotus Edge. Those are also great neighborhoods, especially if you're moving down here and you don't know anybody. It's really easy to network and make new friends because of the clubhouse setup and how they really put on a community feeling for new residents. And number three that you may want to consider is Boca Winds. So Boca Winds is the furthest out west you can practically go here in Boca Raton, but it gives you into a very nice established neighborhood full of young professional families with kids running around and whatnot. And you're probably going to enjoy what you see on greatschools.org for that community as well. And number three type of housing here is the condo. So I normally, honestly, I don't really like condos in general, but there are a few condos that may interest you. If you're somebody who is looking to buy a property but only move here and live here for a certain time period of the year, or just for, like, say, tax purposes, whatever you got to do, whatever, and you just need to lock it up and go, we do have some new construction condos that may fit what you're looking for. And probably one of the best things about living here in Boca Raton, not just what you see behind me and the beautiful scenery, but the location in general. Now, what I want you to see, I'm going to put a map on the screen. Boca Raton is actually in the center heart of South Florida. So if you went to Miami, you're all the way at the far bottom right. But if you're somebody who likes to be around luxury things, do luxury shopping, and see all of South Florida, you need to go all the way up to Palm Beach. And this is all the way to the top of South Florida. Now, again, if you're going to drive from Boca, if you want to go to the Miami International Airport, that's going to be about a 1 hour drive. If you want to go to the Fort Lauderdale Airport, that's about 40 minutes. Palm Beach Airport is practically right next to us. And if you're flying private and if you live in Sanctuary or the Royal Palm Yacht Club, you're probably just going to fly private in general. We have a private airport right here in Boca Raton, Florida. And actually a lot of young kids are getting their pilot license from these particular neighborhoods right now. So if you see them in the sky with the little practice planes, you know exactly what they're doing. And because of where we're located in South Florida, we're right next to the Florida Turnpike and we're right next to I-95. So you can get throughout the entire South Florida area, enjoy Palm Beach, West Palm, Fort Lauderdale. If you want to go to Delray, Wellington, Miami, wherever you want to go, Coral Gables, it's not that far away. You can do easily a trip, go enjoy the restaurant you want to do, go enjoy the nightlife in Miami if you have to, and come right back and live in Boca Raton. Next, Boca offers actually all the luxuries that you could find in Miami, but without the chaos. And what I mean by that is that we have luxury restaurants, we have upscale fitness centers, we have numerous, not just numerous, we have tons and tons of beautiful restaurants with outdoor eating. And on top of that, we have very well manicured landscaping throughout the entire city of Boca Raton, giving off this beautiful, beautiful surrounding environment that you would take on your work days, that you would be taking to the beach. And while you're here and vacationing, you get to see probably one of the most beautiful cities down here in South Florida. And one thing I must say, they're always working on improving the beauty of the area. It's never like they just let something get old. If something's broken, they immediately fix it and they go above and beyond, and they're always adding something to the community and changing things up every once in a while to keep everything fresh and beautiful for the residents here. The next thing we got to talk about is that once people actually visit here, because they're thinking about they're going to go to Miami, but say I had friends that come and visit me, or once you move down here, friends that come and visit you because they're thinking about moving to Miami, but you know, Boca's kind of close to them, so they're going to come stay here. They're going to realize this place is clean, it's organized, it's safe, has great schools, it's a great environment to raise a family, and it's calm, peaceful. People tend to want to stay here, and that's the thing. Boca is very popular because people come and visit. It's not popular because it's advertised all over social media. It's not popular because it's Miami and has this, you know, thing behind it that people are drawn to the wild nightlife. Boca is popular amongst families because once they visit here, they know without a doubt this is the best city in Florida to live and work and to enjoy your South Florida lifestyle. So I just want to let you know this at the end. Boca Raton is not trying to be the next Miami. Looking at you, Tampa. Boca Raton is trying to be a better version and lifestyle of South Florida. So if you want to know more information about living down here in Boca Raton, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I have tons and tons of content about everything you really need to know about moving and living here in Boca Raton. If you're ready to make that move in the next 30, 60, 6 months, a year out, reach out to me. We can start setting up everything here. I know some probably some of the best local lenders here in Delray, Boca area. So we got you covered with that. I have an entire team of multiple real estate agents who I work with regularly to make sure all the clients get the best service possible. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video right here. Take care. Testing, testing, testing.